Hello and welcome to part 5 of our Getting In programme. Now you might say, what happened to part 4? Well, part 4 goes with week 3. Week 3 I gave you out all the sheets to look through, all the triangles and squares, and you were supposed to fill that in. And in week 4 I talked to everybody through theirs. So if I haven't had a chance to speak to you about it on week 4, get in touch with me and we'll go through it together and we'll fill those things in. What we're going to do today is go through the summary sheet. Week 5 is the summary sheet, and then the ministries of the church that are connected with it. What you'll need is Getting In 5, which looks like that at the top, which has 6 boxes on it, and then the list of ministries at the bottom. Okay, so I want you to grab that and have it ready. If you haven't, go do that now and come back. The 6 boxes are a summary of the first 3 weeks. Okay, the top box is saying what are your goals? What are you working towards? And in week 1 we were asking, well, if church is a bunch of people trying to help each other grow their faith, what does growing your faith look like for you? So in week 1 you should have something that you can fill in that top box. Week 2 we looked at, well, if church is a group of people helping each other, who is the group of people around you? And maybe that's part of the reason you wanted to do Getting In, to connect with more people. I understand that, and if there's more ways we can help you connect, talk to me and we'll get in touch about that. But those 2 boxes are about who helps you and who are you helping, who are you connected with in the church and helping each other towards greater faith. Okay, so who are you partnering with and who are you helping? Those are the first 3 boxes. The next 3 then are a summary of what we did last week, looking at who you are and where you fit in church. If church is a bunch of people helping each other to grow in faith, well, where do I fit in that? And that depends on you specifically. So what you're good at goes in the first box. What's your personality like? What are those things you're good at? And what sort of things enthuse you? That's the motivators we were referring to. So what drives you and what gets you excited about life and doing things? And what are your spiritual gifts? Where can you contribute in the church? Now remember, I was saying that there's 2 ways these things can go. One is something you're good at, and one is something you're enjoying. And when you're involved in church, you want it to be things that you enjoy. Yes, you want it to be things that you're good at. But if your work is 70 hours a week of something you're good at, you don't want to come to church and do more of the same. You want to do something different. So what we're going to do now is look through a list of ministries. I want you to think about these things, and I want you to pick a few out of maybe 120 that we'll go through. I haven't counted them exactly, but there are 24 categories and there's a whole bunch in each category. So out of maybe 100, 150 different ideas, is there 2, 3 that might interest you that you might want to get involved in? What you're going to do is I'm going to talk through all those ministries and you're going to select a few of them, just circle them, something that you're interested in. As I said, try and avoid more of your work. Try and get into things that you'll enjoy. Some of them should be things that help you grow, and some of them should be things that maybe you can contribute to. Does that make sense? So here's the plan. I am going to start spouting now, so I'm going to take a breather just before we do that, and I'm going to go through all these ministries, and you're going to pick a few that you're interested in. At the end, when we've finished the list, what I want you to do is take a photo of this sheet and send it to me, and then we can discuss how we can help you get into church and how we can make it real. Okay, so let's start talking through these ministries. The first one on our list is prayer. Now, prayer is involved in lots of parts of our ministry. We pray for lots of people. We have the prayer calendar where we want to pray for everybody that's involved in the church. But also there's prayer times at a lot of our events. At the service, we ask people if they want to contribute by praying. We get people to pray at home groups. We have prayer in youth groups, and there should be more and more opportunities. We also do specific times of prayer, weeks of prayer, and there's a prayer chain that Helen runs that connects people and helps people pray. There's lots of ways to pray for people. And if you want to get more involved in prayer, you might have a specific idea, or maybe one of those things that we already do might seem interesting to you. So maybe there's something you can do in prayer that would help. The prayer weeks tend to involve different sessions with different types of prayer. There's not one right way to pray. Talking to God is talking to God. Having a conversation with anyone can be a variety of different things. So prayer can be a lot of different things, and we do lots of different sessions. If you're interested in praying a bit more, then circle it and come back to me. The next one is teaching. Now this is about sharing rather than receiving, because there's Bible study and there's other opportunities where you can receive, but maybe some of you feel like you can contribute to the teaching. That doesn't necessarily mean you want to preach on a Sunday morning. There's lots of other contexts, like the home groups, like the adult class on Sunday morning, like the youth fellowship, like other events that we do. Some of you might be interested in speaking at something. If you would like to teach and would like to develop the gift of teaching and would like to work on it, well then talk to me. That's about prioritising knowing the Bible and understanding it. So one of the things to do is to keep learning as well. We're going to get another Bible college module starting in a couple of weeks, and maybe you'd be interested in that. It's about the Bible, and it's definitely helpful for those who want to be teaching as well as those who want to be learning. So we're going to do more teaching and more opportunities. We just want to keep helping people understand and grow in their knowledge of God. The more you know about God, the more you'll get to know Him. So teaching's an opportunity. If you feel like that's something you're interested in, again, circle it. The next two I'm going to put together because they take similar mannerisms or similar gifting. The first one is hospitality and the second one is visiting. Hospitality is including people into your space, having people for lunch, having people for a night out, having people round for a quiz, including people in your conversation, in your house, having guests to stay. There's times we'll have speakers come to speak at the church and they need places to stay. There's times that visitors come and they need somewhere to stay, or they come and they want to go for lunch, or we want to include them. If you think you're the sort of person that welcomes people into your space well, then maybe you would be interested in hospitality, sharing what you've got with others. And likewise, visiting is just the same attitude, but going to their space, going into somebody else's space and caring for them, giving and supporting and helping them. So maybe you'd be interested in hospitality or in visiting. The next one is youth. We have quite a vibrant youth in the church, from young ones to 25-year-olds nearly now. Some of the older ones are getting old. But the youth is quite interesting. We have such a variety of things. We have a Friday night youth club and a Sunday night youth fellowship, but there's also constant things going on. Kyle is running loads of programs in pre-evangelism, reaching out to kids, just making them welcome. We're running the drop-in centre, and we'll need to plan what we'll do instead now, or how we can use the growth that came through that. So there's lots of ways we can help young people, and if you're interested in that, will speak to me again and circle on your sheet. With children, which is the next category, and with youth, if you want to be involved in those things, you'll need to do the PVG stuff. It's just about making sure that we protect you and protect the young people. So if you're interested in children's work, there's also lots of options. It sounds simple to say we have a Sunday school. And that is important. There's some great women lead that, and they do a great job. But there's other things we do with kids. We've been trying to do family fun days on a Saturday once a month, and that's just to make people welcome and to stretch again the boundaries of the kids that we're bringing in, and to see who we can reach out to. On top of that, there's things like summer holiday clubs and camps and things like that. If you want to go and help in camps in other places, we can get you involved with that. Some of these ministries that I'm talking about as well aren't just about our church. Maybe you're interested in the wider church and opportunities in a wider context. And if that's true, still circle it and speak to me about it and say, look, I'm interested in going and doing ministry with kids, or working with the people out there in some context, whether that's teaching them or in prayer. There's plenty of prayer ministries across the world that we can connect you with. So maybe children is an area you're interested in. The next one is music. And most of us enjoy music of some type or other. Some of us like really old hymns, some of us like really modern music, some of us think we don't know a song until we've heard it 50 times, and some of us think we know it before we've even heard it. We're different people. And some of us enjoy singing and playing. Some of us are talented and gifted with musical abilities. And if that's you and you're interested and you want to play music, well, talk to me about that. But there are others who might want to contribute to music who think maybe I can't actually play an instrument, and how could I get involved? Don't be afraid to circle it and say, well, actually, I'm interested in that. And there are ways you can help, whether that's supporting the music ministry through the computer work, through the lists of songs, and we need people to keep them in order and to check that we have all the songs that we're singing and the music for them, looking up or singing or being part of things, or sharing music through internet or through discs or whatever, to help other people enjoy music more. There are ways you can help even if you're not the best singer in the world. So music's an area we can. I wasn't picking at anybody there. What? Don't have a go. I was just saying. So maybe music's an area you're interested in. The next area is discipleship, and it's really key to me. When I'm talking about how the church works, I'm saying that 70, 80 people isn't your church. It's too many. It's hard for you, or even for me as the minister, to connect with all 80 people on a regular occurrence and keep up with everybody and know what's going on. So we need to connect in smaller groups. And discipleship is really looking at taking on one-to-one, helping somebody or getting somebody to help you. It's very intentional, and it's to commit to saying to somebody, look, this is what I can do. I'm not the best singer, and I'm not a preacher, but I can walk with you, I can help you out. And there's plenty of people that need help, and plenty of people willing to help if you feel like that's a ministry you feel is important. We have on our website a whole bunch of material. If you want to talk somebody through knowing God better, there's lots of material to help you. Also, there's just sitting with somebody, praying with somebody, making deals with somebody. You read that and I'll read it. You connect with so-and-so and I'll do this. And just encouraging somebody by constantly being there. It's been very effective and it's very helpful just to spend time with somebody, but to do it intentionally and with the goal of increasing their faith. Maybe that's an area you would be interested in. The next one says food and helps. And a lot of events that we run, we have food. Whether that's regular or irregular events, we have food at lots of things. So at the Bible College, we always eat. At the discipleship groups, at Getting In, we should have been eating. I know it's a thing we shouldn't have missed out on. But food and helps is just saying, look, I can contribute through cooking, through baking, through helping. And there's things like the youth club where every week, and youth fellowship every week, we eat food. There's things like every now and again we have a soup and sandwich lunch, or it's somebody's birthday and we have a cake and a bit of a party, or we have special event and we have a supper, or it's a funeral and we make food for them. There's plenty of opportunities to commit to feeding people and helping with that. And on top of that, there's plenty of opportunities just to help around the place with it, cleaning up and cooking and washing dishes. I think our church needs a dishwasher, by the way, and I don't mean a person. But lots of opportunities to feed and to help and to be involved. It might seem just a small thing, but it's really interesting in Revelation 3 when Jesus says, open the doors and I'll come in and I'll eat with you and you with me, that we'll eat together. Eating together is a big part of real fellowship. Maybe that's an area you think you could help in. Evangelism's the next one, and there's lots of things about reaching out. Evangelism is just being excited about your faith and wanting to share it. So many of us want to share it and aren't very good at it. Maybe some of us got the opportunity to go to the evangelism masterclass that Tony Anthony ran, or something like that. We want to help people find Jesus. We can do that in a variety of contexts. The church was actually thinking of putting together an evangelism team that get excited about events and arrange them and run them. We might have a special event with speakers coming and ask them to speak. We might have a special event where we get somebody with a specific skill or gift along, and they might share about that. We also do regular things like the Walk of Witness at Easter and events like that where we reach out. At Youth Fellowship, sometimes we do evangelism outreach. We need to put together programs for that and help people do that. We want to teach people how to share their faith one-to-one. We want to do lots of outreach events like alpha courses and things like that. There's many ways to do it. And if you want to get better at personal evangelism, just sharing your faith one-to-one, well then we want to help you do that too. Maybe if you just think about the excitement you have about Jesus and how you wish other people knew it too, that's somebody who wants to do evangelism. The next one's Bible study, and that's saying to someone, I want you to know God better. And Bible study is both you learning and you sharing. There's, like I said, home groups, and I think we'll probably be starting another home group, so we need to look at people who might run that or lead that. There's different Bible studies, like the adult class. There's the youth Bible study, as I said, and there's other events where we do Bible study. There's ladies' Bible studies, and maybe we should have a men's Bible study, I don't know. But the key is that we want to learn and know our Bible better. If you feel like that's something you're interested in, whether it's because you want to learn or because you want to help others learn, talk to me about Bible study and we'll see how we could fit that in, because it's really important. Let's then think about home group. It's another context where we bring people into a smaller space and we do church in a smaller group. As we go back to church after the lockdown, it's going to have to look a bit more like small groups. And that means meeting together with a few people, eating together, maybe sharing, praying together, inviting one another to be part of a Bible study together, and just encouraging each other and backing each other up. It's a small version of church, and I guess that's really what we're talking about in the big picture. So maybe home group's something you'd like to be involved in coming to, or maybe you'd like to help lead it. We've got healing as our next ministry area, and sometimes after church we offer prayer for healing. Recently there's a couple of ladies have been organising a healing ministry on a Friday, and there's opportunities to pray for people to be healed. That's not just in our smaller context, but across the world. There's opportunities to pray for healing. So if you really care about people's health and want them to be well and want to pray for healing, and if you feel like God's gifted you to do that or wants you to pray for people, then come along and do that, and we'll find a context where we can help you do that. It doesn't take you to be particularly skilled, just someone who wants to talk to God about others who aren't well and pray for their health. So if that's you, maybe healing ministry is something you'd be interested in. At the moment, we're having to invest more in computer stuff than ever before. I'm not very good with these videos. I can't bring the words of the songs up the side or things like that. And yet there are other people who can. There's people who can add to stuff and make it better. And there's people who are skilled at just working the computer, making sure the slides come up at the right time. And I know it sounds really easy, but it's not. And every time somebody makes a mistake, 60 people turn around and stare at them and go, what did you do? But the computer's a very useful tool, but it's also a complicated thing. At the moment, we're putting videos on YouTube. We put sermons on our website. Our website's full of information that needs constantly updated, whether that's the missionary partners we support, or the church events that are happening, or the material that's available for the Bible College or for other events that we do. So if you're skilled at the computer and interested in it and not working at your computer for the entire week, maybe that's an area you'd be interested in helping in. Admin is filling in all those forms and making sure things are right. George is a great secretary. Don't tell him I said that. But he's a great secretary. He gets the job done. He keeps me right, and he makes sure that the forms that come in get signed and filled in and organised. He makes sure that reports go out at the right time, that the AGM's done at the right time, and all those things that I really wouldn't bother with. So he's excellent, but there's other admin positions and other things that need help. All the fundraising that we do needs people to fill in the forms. All the youth work and things needs people to have PVG forms, and all the data protection stuff is important. We try try and make sure that all this stuff is done well. There's no point doing a church and making it exciting and not having the right stuff done in the background. Every year we have to pay in for insurances and licenses. Margaret Ewing looks after all the bookings for the church. There's loads of things that come and go and happen. If you feel like you can contribute in the area of admin, you could help out with some of the stuff that needs done, we'll circle that one and we'll get back to that. Cleaning seems simple. We have a cleaner in the church and he's paid to clean, so job done, right? But actually, at every event that we do, we have to clean up and tidy, make sure things are organised. And in the wider town context and country context, there's greater cleaning up needing done. All the people we partner with have events and run organised programmes and stuff like that. Imagine the royal servants coming here and us not doing a jot of cleaning. I know they're very good at looking after themselves, but we need to help and support. So there's lots of cleaning that can be done and lots of things that can be done to help. Some of us love that. I know that sounds crazy, but if you enjoy that and feel like you can contribute there, then speak to me about that. The next one says flowers, and you think, well, what do you mean flowers? Somebody puts flowers at the front of church, and I'm like, yeah, and they're beautiful, and I hardly notice them most weeks, but they're amazing. But there's a team of ladies who dress the flowers and put them at the front of church. But we also give those flowers to people. We organise for them to go out to different people. We have to make sure that we can give them as gifts to people. And there's events where we need special flowers. Sometimes we need arrangements for funerals and things like that. I wonder if you just enjoy and think flowers are beautiful and might enjoy arranging flowers or giving them out or sharing in that ministry. The next one says men, and for you ladies, I'm afraid this is an area you can't be involved in. Likewise, men, the women's section, not for you. But there's lots of things for men that we'd like to do, whether that's the men's shed in the town, whether that's men's events or men's weekends or men's outreaches or things that are suitable for men. Our church is actually unusual in that we have almost 50-50 men and women. In most of Scotland, in most of the UK, and actually in a lot of the world, there are far more Christian women than there are men. And so we want to just keep encouraging our men's ministry, looking at some of the young men who need discipled, looking at some of the programs that we organise for men, whether it's a men's quiz or a night out or something. All these things need organised and arranged, and people need to be involved in that. If you feel that's an area of ministry you'd like to be involved in, let me know. Likewise, there's lots of events for women. They already have a weekend away. I'm not jealous or anything, but there you go. They have a ladies' Bible study. They have a reach thing where they do different events for different occasions. They do lots of keeping in touch and lists and contacts and just enjoying each other's company. Maybe there's things that you think you would like to be involved in because you want to know more people. Maybe you want to be included in those men's events or women's events. Maybe you think, actually, it's not about me sharing. I want to be part of that. Maybe you should circle it then and we can talk about that too. But there's things for ladies where they just try and keep each other going. There's lots of older ladies in the church and younger ladies that need different kinds of support and chat and banter. So if you feel like men's or women's ministry is your thing, or you want to be included in those things, let me know. The next one is mission. We're very lucky to have some amazing mission partners. We partner with Greg and Diane in America, and they're doing a great job doing particular media stuff for reaching out to the world. We work with IAPAN in India, Andy and Heather in Uganda. We work with the School Aid Romania. We work with Simon and Annika in Papua New Guinea. He's like one of my best friends and I forget where he is. Keeps inviting me, keeps saying no. But if you feel like you would like to support a missionary partner, keep praying for them, keep in touch with them, sort of one-to-one church to missionary contact. And then you bring back their stories and help us keep in touch with what they're doing. I would love that. If you would like to just be involved in reaching out in mission. Maybe you'd want to do a team, maybe you'd want to reach out and do something on a bigger scale. Well, talk to me about that too. If you see the world as small, which it is these days, then maybe you want to get out there and spread the message just like the coronavirus. Just get out there and share it. And some of us are interested in mission and want to be part of what that is and how it goes. If you have ideas about how we can help or do things, there's Mary's Meals and things like that we do things for. There's different shoebox stuff that we kind of connect with. We do the rag bag stuff to connect for charities and things like that. And the mission idea is reaching out with the gospel. There's other stuff which comes under maybe community care that would be connected to this too. But if you feel like there's areas like that you're interested in, let me know. Circle it and let me know. The next one says poverty, and just as we care about people's faith in the world, we care about people as a whole. We want to help them holistically, and there's people in our church or connected with our church who struggle for money, who are maybe homeless actually, who struggle to keep going, and who have difficulties with finances. Maybe you want to feel like somebody who contributes, whether that's contributing to the church so that we can contribute, or maybe you want to come to me and say, look, here's a gift, give it to somebody that you know needs it. There's lots of ways to sort of give in terms of just giving money, but in terms of the context of poverty, we do far more than that, and we're connected with folks in the town like the food bank and the hub grub and other groups like the starter packs that help people who are struggling. And in the world context, we work with other charities that do things as well. So if you feel like you would like to do more, or you want us to connect more with particular groups or do different things, then circle that poverty ministry and talk to me about that. The next area is the elderly. And although George doesn't like to admit he's old, there are old people in our church. And there are lots of them who are very capable and very outgoing and very involved, but there are others who are less able to get out and need connecting and need people to stay with them. I wonder if you feel like there's stuff we can do for the elderly and you could be part of it. Whether that's coming to the nursing home, we sing at a nursing home once a month, or we've committed to doing that and have been unable to do it because of the lockdown. But if you feel like that's an area where you could contribute, then maybe you would like to be involved in that. Maybe you would like to just visit some of the older folk, or be part of a visiting team, or part of just a connecting team who phones up and checks on people and sees how they're doing. There's plenty of things like the befrienders in the town and activities where we can help the elderly in the community. We do like the Christmas dinner. We quite often have some of the elderly come to that because they've nowhere else to go. If you feel like there's context where you could help with the elderly, then let me know and we'll see what we can do. We've got two more. We're nearly done. And the next one is giving. And giving is just about providing for some of the other things that we do. We run so many activities. The longest sermon I ever did was over an hour, because I went from A to Z in the ministries that the church is involved in. And it's massive amounts of things. And it all takes money, whether that's working with the youth, whether it's doing kids programs or summer teams or quizzes or outreach events, or whether it's just the general ministry of Bible study and teaching and Bible college and websites and insurance and all sorts of things that we need and need provided for. Giving is just about supporting those things. Generally, as people who are involved in church, we don't have a rule you have to give a tithe or anything like that, but we would encourage people just to be generous and to give. Maybe it's an area you feel particularly gifted. Maybe you've got enough and you can contribute, and you feel like that's an area that God has said, go do that, go help there. Some of that ministry also needs organising and putting together. If you feel like you could help just sort with money and finances, I was going to say we're looking for a treasurer, and somebody says, yes, but I thought we had a treasurer, and I'm going to tell you, yes, that's the one we're looking for. But it's always helpful if somebody would be willing to be treasurer of the church. We would be more than grateful. because it's hard to get somebody just to commit to doing admin jobs and supporting and giving. We have a team really that do it, and they're excellent, doing different areas of our finance ministry. But if you feel like you could contribute to that as well, let us know. And finally, our last area that I've got is community care. We do lots of things in the community. We've done other things more and less in times gone by. Our building here is used by a lot of community groups, and we connect with a lot of other ones. Whether that's the youth stuff like EXP and the school, and whether it's the connections we have with the other parts of the council, the local community groups, the clubs that we're involved in, but also just caring for the community through the programs that the community itself organises. If you want to be part of the Young Carers or part of the Help Project or part of the group if you want to volunteer for Kathleen's Cabin, which helps kids who are terminally ill, or you want to be part of some of the programs, just let me know if you feel like you would like to do some more care in the community. And if you've got ideas, that's equally valid and equally valuable. It's not you need to come and do what we're doing, it's we're a church together, and what can we help with? So that is what I've gone through there. That's the list of ministries on that sheet. There's also if there's things that you think are opportunities or needs in our community and you want us to connect with them, if there's things that you need that you think the church might actually be good for providing that, then talk to us about that. But there's lots of ways we can help and grow and build into each other's faith. If there's something else, write it in the other box and let us know other ideas that you have. Don't be afraid to speak to me. I might not have a clue what you're talking about, or decide that maybe it's not something we can afford to put the effort into, but you might as well have a conversation about it. Now, we've come to a list at the end of the list, and I've gone through a whole lot of things. What I want you to do is just to think through them again, read through the sections, pick a few, circle them, and then I want you to have a copy of this sheet sent to me. Then I can get back to you and we can talk through how to connect you into church. There might be specific things like you want to become a member of the church, or you want to get baptized, or you want to be this or that. If that's something we need to talk about, then talk to me about it. But the end of this program is supposed to say, right, where do we go from here? And whether it's me or some of the other folks in the church, we'll try and connect you in. So if you can send me your sheet 5 when you've filled it all in, then I can either get back to you or get somebody else to get back to you and try and connect in with how we will get you involved in the church. Hopefully that all makes sense to you. And thank you for doing the Getting In program. I hope you are feeling like you're getting more involved in church, even just by being part of it. Thanks for taking the time. Amen.